Hi, everyone. So I'm Jen Jones, Chief Marketing Officer at commercetools, and I am so happy to have you all here with us at Elevate this year. So today on stage, I'll be joined by leaders from two truly iconic brands, both of whom I am very proud to say are longtime commercetools customers. And even though they each operate in very different industries, beauty and pets, they share a couple of really important things in common. First of all, they serve extremely passionate and very, very loyal customer bases. In addition to that, they both face extreme peaks in seasonal peaks of traffic. And with that, that can be from the holidays, promotional surges, or just unplanned spikes in demand that they weren't anticipating. And to solve that, both of them have turned to the power of composable commerce. And in both of these cases, they have used that to not only survive these peak moments, but turn them into strategic advantages. Now, together, these companies are reimagining the very fabric of commerce as we know it today. And they're creating scalable, agile, customer-centric experiences that meet customers where they are when it matters most. My first guest today is a visionary leader who heads the digital engineering team at Sephora. This is a team behind cutting-edge innovations like AR-powered makeup try-ons, virtual makeup try-ons, as well as scalable omnichannel experiences that really connect their customers and serve their over 40 million Beauty Insider loyalty members, myself included, and create those deep connections that keep us all coming back to and loyal to the brand. So with that, please join me in welcoming Rajesh Venkatesan, Vice President of Digital Engineering at Sephora, to the stage. Welcome. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone.
So a couple of questions for you. To start off, can you tell us what Sephora was looking to accomplish with its replatforming to composable commerce, and what were the limitations of the old platform that you were on?
Good question, actually. Hello, everyone. The current platform, again, is no longer current, by the way. It's a legacy platform on e-commerce was at Sephora for almost 16 plus years. And it's the Oracle e-commerce suite, ATG suite we have been using. And it faced its days, right? It's aging, and we really want to look for, the fundamental idea is how can we be more nimble? How can we, because like Jen, you were highlighting, we have in a given day, more than 20 to 25 million people access our .com channel. Huge traffic. So how can we be more nimble? Futuristic is a very, very important thing for us. I know people talked about intelligent, hyper-personalization, agentic, are the core mantra of need for moving from a legacy into a new ecosystem. And the second aspect is about traffic. Like I said, again, 25 million clients you are servicing in a given day in your .com. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. It has to be futuristic. And third thing is our loyal customers. They are always looking for new things, right? Very, very important for them to see new things out on our any channel, whether it is retail, stores, brick and mortar, or digital, to see the new things. So meeting their needs, meeting their demands is very, very important for us. So I would say these are the primary reasons. Futuristic planning, meeting the traffic needs, and also meeting our customer demand.
That's great. So I know that MACH was a big influence on Sephora's shift to composable commerce. What about this were you most drawn to?
As I was highlighting, the current platform is monolith. While we are looking for upgrading ourselves into a more fine-grained things, we always looking for how do we move forward? Because it's something there for multi-decade. When you're unearthing, you'll find many things there. So moving from a monolith into a fine-grained microservices was our very important thing. That's what MACH helped us, right? Meaning Microservices is a foundation. We have quite a few number of APIs developed, approximately around 300 plus APIs running, hundreds of microservices running, meeting all the needs for the ecosystem. The another aspect where Mark helped us is when you have monolith, you deploy. It's an elephant, right? You deploy everything and you scale everything all in once. What Mark allowed us to is also do an isolated development or independent development, not just development alone, also deployment, right? When you develop something, you can form an SME teams. They can work in parallel. Like, if, for example, in the legacy world, we touch something on a promotion, oh my God, it's impacting order. That's no longer the case. So it will be, so Mark facilitated that by means of having microservices and enabling SMEs on specific domains, whether it is pricing, promotion, catalog, whatever it is. That's a very important thing. Sephora is also have a big presence in brick and mortar. You all know that. So we have 1,000 plus with all our partnership and everything, almost 2,000 stores across US and Canada. That being said, client goes to any channel, right? .com, mobile apps, mobile web, or even call a client services, or go to brick and mortar store. The seamless experience is what really want to bring in. So Mark facilitated that through the headless approach. So that's what I would say.
That's great. Now, you and I have spoken a lot about agility. We heard a lot about that in the keynote this morning as well. How would you say that your new platform is enabling that agility that you were looking to achieve? And is that having an impact on customer demand?
Absolutely, absolutely. So when I talk about agility, like Andrew was today morning talking, right, speed comes into everybody's mind, right? That's what it is. We want to make things faster and give it to the market, to our end customers in a lightning fast. That's what everybody is thinking. How can I be ahead of my competition in a positive way and release my features in a rapid manner to our clients so that they can have that, enjoy that feature. So modularity comes into picture. What that means is, when you're decomposing your legacy application, again, this is also where Mark enabled us to create our individual modules, right? Promotion module, payment module, checkout module, and that actually helped us with this, actually, right? Very, very important. How do we do that? And another aspect is about testability of the feature. Yeah, it's not just you develop a feature and give it to the hands of people. You should be able to test that feature. It's not the quality testing I'm talking about. It's the A/B testing, right? This agility, what we are looking for is like, how can I test this feature in a specific channel with a specific segment in a specific time is very important for us so that we know the impact of that. So there is a mantra about failing fast. If you see something is not working out, fail fast. You don't need to be, so because your customer traffic matters, your customer matters. So that's primarily the agility for us, developing something faster in an independent way and bring it to our customers in an elegant way, and also able to test that feature sooner and make a positive impression on our customers.
That's great. So beyond specific features, what broader organizational and financial impacts have you observed since moving to a composable platform? Have you seen, I know scalability, cost reduction were key imperatives for you. Have you seen that yet?
Definitely. Again, if I'm saying that, we save millions of dollars, no, I might be lying. So, team, you all probably know that, right? Cloud journey takes investment. It's not easy, right? I know we are talking about a decade-old cloud, but Mark needs cloud adoption, right? When you are decomposing things, let's say you used to have maybe one database running or maybe multiple database for instances running. But when you move into this microservice world, your cost will hit the ceiling, right? Because that's the initial stages. You have to invest on it. For example, each microservice needs its own database, own ways of monitoring things, own ways of improving performance of that. For example, your payment processor needs to be improved to meet the needs for all your foundational. We'll talk about more about unified commerce and etc. whether I go to store or wherever it is, my payment service should be able to scale accordingly. It has to be its own state of art. So that being said, it's important for us to have this kind of a scalability, right? That's super, super important. Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about peak events.
And
Oh,
also,
go
I
ahead.
will really like to add, talking about this impact on financial thing, right? Each microservice needs your own investment. Your operational expense, like I was highlighting, it may go up on few years. But very, very important subtle point, all of you are experienced leaders here. The positive outcome of that is your customer experience. Your average order value will increase. Time to market will be fantastic, right? You can release features. So it will compensate. In fact, it will pay you more financially because at the end of the day, what we all want to see in our customer face is a smile, like what Kapil is talking about, right? That smile matters, right? Because a smiling customer is a returning customer. And also, you are able to convert that intent of a customer into a purchase is what we are looking for. So it will pay you the investment back.
A smiling customer is a returning customer. I love that. Everybody write that down. That's a fantastic quote. So fantastic, but let's talk a little bit about peak events. So I know you and I was teasing you once that I know when the Sephora sale, there's probably not the only one in this room that knows, there's a biannual sale. If you're a beauty insider, you wait for that day. I always have it marked on my calendar with some reminders so I don't forget, even if I'm traveling. So those are predictable spikes in traffic, I know. There's also unpredictable spikes in traffic that you might find, or peaks in demand, rather. How are you better able to handle those peaks, both planned and unplanned now?
Good question. Everybody in the room, if you're in a retail industry, might be preparing for those events, right, primarily. Yeah, how do I? So with the MACH adoption, we are in a stage where we can, in the fabric of, I'm just going to say this word, composable commerce mesh, containing hundreds of microservices, 300 plus APIs, we are able to test out individual performance of specific APIs. How is my registration working? How is my loyalty profile working? How is my gamification registering to a specific loyalty program working? So we are able to stitch out a specific channel performance. We are able to measure a specific channel performance through this landscape of microservices. Very, very important. It actually enabled us. Earlier, we don't know how can I scale a specific, everything is all together with the monolithic world. So it was very difficult to scale up. If I have to scale up my registration, I have to automatically, I'm scaling up my payments model, even though it's not necessary. It's coming at the end of the funnel in a legacy world. But right now, we are able to identify where exactly the traffic needs are, scale up that, how many pods I need, what time period I need to scale it up. We are also fabricated a fantastic way of monitoring things, the observability, right? Primary factor here. What that means is we created our own internal Sephora application through which we are able to monitor we created it's not a NASA, I would say, it's a state-of-art, a dashboard monitoring all our services, how they are performing, different colors it will glow, beyond our APM tools, application performance monitoring tools, is backing up this information, created a fantastic dashboard showing all our metrics and things. We also brought in mobile app for that. So whenever my CIO is traveling on wherever he is, he can see that, hey, by the way, guys, that product service is not working good. Oh, okay. He calls us, we'll say that we are already on it. So it gives us a visibility of how is the fabric of all these hundreds of services, how it's performing. And that way, we are able to detect and isolate and take an action. Very, very important. So these things, actually, the monitoring aspects and scaling aspects, and also preparing for these peak events, was state-of-art through this MACH implementation. We are able to monitor key things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. So one more topic that is very popular this year, or ongoing, is unified commerce and unified customer experiences. So how is your building that composable commerce foundation built on MACH principles? How is that supporting more connected, unified customer experiences across online channels and in-store?
Good question. Yeah. So connected commerce, unified commerce, whatever we talked
However we're
about here,
talking about it
everyone, all the
today,
three
right?
sessions, Andrew, Dirk, Shiri, of course, Kapil, all of them talked about it, right? So the mantra, I would say, what we have been following is customer is a king in retail. It's a very old statement, but that's true even in any world, even if we are living in an AI world. So it's very important for us to provide a unified experience for our customer, right? That unified experience drives the unified commerce. Meaning, if I go to, and take an example, if as a customer, let's say if I go to Sephora store, they recommended me an XYZ product for my foundation cream. I come to .com site, maybe the next day. If something differently comes for me, my store recommended me XYZ product for this one, but my digital is showing me something different. That's not a connected experience, right? So very, very important, how is your, whatever channel she goes in, right? Yeah, or they goes in. Has to be a seamless, constant, or a synergy between the experience, whatever is super important when it comes to connected. So that's the foundation for us. Customer is a king, experience has to be seamless, unified. Then how can we do it? By means of bringing in all the services, aware of that unified experience, what they needs, right? Whether it is payment, what Dirk talked about, Kapil talked about, whether it is payment at the store, or it is the loyalty information given to our beauty advisors in the store, or it is more like, what features, what we offer in the stores. Everything has to be in synergy in whatever channel she goes in, whether it is app. I add an item to the basket, it's there already in .com. When I open my desktop browser, it's there. When I go to store, they know that. The person X looked for this product, added this item into the basket, and they are really looking forward for this specific needs. So the beauty advisor, that's why we call them as a beauty advisor. They're not just a store associate because they really want to help our clients. So keeping that unified experience across the platform is super important. It's part of our core area. Again, this MACH, and thank you, commercetools, for facilitating this across multiple channels for us.
Excellent. So finally, what advice do you have? Like I mentioned at the start, you're a longtime commercetools customer here, but what advice do you have for anybody else who is earlier on in their journey or thinking about starting their migration to a composable commerce architecture?
Of course, yeah, it's not an advice, I would say, because everyone is a equally mature leader here, industry leader here. You all know your strategy and things like that. Probably I would say some of these things, what I looked into it, right? Probably that will be a great way to say. When you are re-platforming or when you're moving from a legacy into a new digital experience, do not go in a big bang, right? Again, all of you might know that. What I mean by is I actually say this as an onion. Right? Peel that peripheral entities first before you go into the core. Right? Because your core is where your order capture, your revenue recognition comes into picture. So this journey for us started with peeling one layer at a time. It's a strangular pattern, right? If you are in the architecture world, meaning before you take out the roof, make sure you put pillars around it so that whatever scaffolding you are going to put is going to stand that. So prepare your team, prepare your leadership accordingly. We are going to put we are going to peel the onion. We slowly get into that. No big bang, definitely. Another aspect is when you are doing this journey, these are not a journey, you start last week and you complete in maybe next month. No, it's a multi-year journey. So what that is going to impact your business continuity. Your business might be aiming for, I want to launch XYZ on this month, this feature on that period, right? So business continuity matters. So very, very important. When you're thinking about migrating a digital platform experience, do not stop your business continuity. Do not go back in the race. Continue to focus on that. That's a challenging aspect. Feel free to reach out to me how we did that offline. That's the thing. And second thing is also your team matters. Very, very important. Align with your team and set a vision and mission for your team. Super important. Bring everyone together. My CEO used to say that, yeah, if you want to travel faster, go alone. If you want to travel for a longer period of time, go with a team. So really, really, team matters. And create a vision. And roadmap and strategy for the next, I don't know how many years you are planning. Have a clear vision. Which area you want to target first? How do you want to go? It's super, super important, actually. Have a clear plan and strategy. It's a great thing. Again, there are 100 different things on this one. Feel free to reach out, you know how to reach out to me. Again, I'd be happy to help if there is a need. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Excellent. Great words of advice, even if you don't want to call them that. Well, thank you again for joining me here today. As a loyal customer, I will be watching closely to see what your team dreams up next, but thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen.
Sure. All right, we're not done yet, because for those of you who were in the audience last year at Elevate, you may remember my next guest, who was here speaking about the very beginning of Petsmart's transition to composable commerce. And a year later, I'm so excited to welcome Greg Fancher, Chief Technology Officer at Petsmart, back to the Elevate stage to give us an update on how that transition has been going and the impacts it's had on the organization. So welcome back, Greg. Well, thank you for being a repeat speaker at Elevate. Pretty good, considering it's only our second year of the conference, but appreciate that. So last year when you joined us on stage at Elevate, you were about midway through your migration to commercetools. So I think everybody wants to know, where does Petsmart stand in your migration today?
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. We've been on a journey to retire legacy and move off of a fairly aged monolith, like I'm sure many people here are. So we've been really on that journey to get to more of a open systems, headless, microservices, all the good stuff, right? And our objective there is to be able to then develop continuously and add new features and iterate on a regular basis. So we went live in 2024 with our homepage, our product listing page, product detail page, and we were able to enable a headless search as well. And we've been seeing some pretty amazing results with that. Now, as we sit today, we've launched the remaining capabilities. So the bits where we calculate the cart, take people's money, you know, the sensitive things, and have people's account information. And so that is live, and we're in that fun stage of looking at how that is performing compared to how the legacy is performing, both of them together in real time, which is a really, really critical step.
Very cool. Well, congrats on
Thank
going
you.
live. Big step. So now that you've moved to composable commerce and are starting to see the results, can you think back and maybe share something that was either more challenging to do on the old platform or even impossible to do? And I'm very curious to hear if you've got any results you can share from your holiday season as someone who loves bringing their dogs to PetSmart for Santa photos. Anybody else? Okay.
Yeah. So I would say there are a couple of things that we really got out of it that are really important for us. The first one is this idea of fine-grained control and pinpoint accuracy on figuring out where pain points and friction points are. So a specific example would be like in our cart and checkout that we're doing right now, we might have one error in the monolith that might say, hey, something didn't work. And in our new platform and the work that our team has done, you know, instrumenting it, we probably get 30 different error codes so that we can really identify, hey, what's something that maybe, you know, like a customer just didn't enter the right address versus you're getting a a rejection or a decline because of some interface issue or timeout. And so that's invaluable. It's a whole lot less frustrating for the customer. And it gives us the opportunity also to really make the performance better. The second thing I would say is we have a situation where we're invested in services, and so salon is a strategic objective of ours. We have salons in all our stores, and we have a process where you can, book an appointment online. So we've enabled that, and it's pretty good. It's in real time, and one of the things that we noticed is that there are a lot of no-shows and cancellations, and so when you get into that detail and you have all that monitoring to really understand what's going on, we identified that, hey, oftentimes people want to, they have to cancel and then they rebook, and so we took that into a one-step process with one click. And we have seen a fantastic improvement in not just cancellations, rebooking, but also a lot less no-shows, which is really good for business. And then I think you asked about holiday.
Yeah.
For us, it's probably a similar story that I think I've heard twice already today, and that is that at holiday, we hit peak sales. So we had some of our biggest days right around Thanksgiving that we've had on e-commerce, and there was no degradation in performance. It just happens. So it's exactly what's supposed to happen with microservices.
Good. That is exactly what's supposed to happen. Glad to hear that it did. Now, your business is one that's known for loyalty, personalization. I know we've talked a lot about that over the last year or two. Pets are so personal, they're family. So in a business where loyalty, personalization are so important, how do you see composable commerce allowing you to create those customer experiences that I believe you call them pet parents, call us pet parents?
Pet parents, yes.
Pet parents are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Our customers, as with most customers, they want a seamless, easy, fast, non-confusing experience. And so with composable commerce, one of the things, there are a couple examples that I can give, but really what we focused on is that iteration and really being able to figure out what the most seamless experience is for the customers. A good example is with our auto ship. We have been able to redo the experience on that a couple of different ways for smaller things that allow us to really pinpoint, again, those friction points. So one of the things is, I don't know if anyone here has a subscription where you get stuff as opposed to a subscription where you get a service. When you get stuff, probably one of the biggest issues you have is you're getting too much or too little. So we've been able to put a lot of energy into providing management and management capability for our customers and making it very apparent. Both integrated into the email and from there right into our mobile app and the site to then be able to do that fine grain of, hey, I just want to pause, or I need it now, and enable those different capabilities. It's been really important. And when you think about it in a broader sense, one of the things is that we do have multiple modes of delivery. So hooking that up with AutoShip and giving the customer the power to maybe even get it that same day, it gets really powerful.
That's cool. So another common theme, we talked about it earlier with Sephora, we've heard about it throughout the day, is that unification of customer experiences across online, offline channels. Now with your both products and services, because I know service is very important to your business, how are you creating more of a unified experience across those two channels?
So what I would say is that, really important for us is we've got a fleet of 1,700 stores, and they're all over the United States and Canada. And that's a really powerful position to be in. And so when you take that and you look at the customer experience and you think about what can I do to make it as seamless as possible, one of the things that we know is our customers, like we said before, all of us, we want to get our orders as fast as we possibly can. So we've put a fair amount of energy into really leveraging our stores for that. So we have a ship from store capability that we put in. We had to have the right order management system hooked up to our e-commerce. And what we're able to do there is, we put a lot of energy and time into making sure that how an order would get fulfilled in a store happens in a way that meets customers' expectations. So is it packed properly? Is it sent out in a timely manner? We did that, and so we got sort of the basics of that up and running. And then the second thing we did is we really wanted to understand how many orders any given store could handle. So we flooded some stores and pressure tested them, kept on turning up the dial. So now we understand how much our stores can handle. And so where that gets us to today is that we have ship from store in about 2/3 of our stores, and it handles more than 90% of our orders go directly from a store to a customer, and 70% of those orders are within 20 miles of the customer. So that store is less than 20 miles away. So when you think about that from a speed perspective, it's a good thing, right? We were able to improve our service levels that we could promise online as well. And so that has a direct financial benefit, but more importantly, it's meeting customer demand. It's giving people what they want.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about the developer experience.
Yeah.
So for your team, how has this shift over to a composable commerce architecture impacted team culture?
Yeah, okay. So I think there are a couple of things that I would talk about there that I think are important to understand. The first is when we talk about the team, we could talk about like the broader team, so Petsmart as a whole. We really wanted to spend some time and make sure that, hey, investing in a commerce platform is directly aligned with our strategy. And that probably seems obvious for a lot of people here, but we need to make sure that everyone in our organization understood what the value of the re-platform could be for the overall strategic objectives of the business. It wasn't just about making a great, fast site. It was really about how do we bring the experience to life for our customers in a way that they expect. So once we did that, you sort of start to bring people through the change curve as far as understanding what the benefit is and the why. And then with my peers, really getting explicit about the timeline and the investment and making sure that we're all aligned on what's the approach going to be, what's that timeline, do we agree, do we want to make that investment, because there are always going to be bumps in the road, and you want to make sure that you have your partners standing right next to you when you have those bumps in the road, because they can help you through that. So then the third thing I would say is the team itself that's doing the work. I think it's really important. We spent a fair amount of time helping the folks on the teams understand that we're going to help them and make sure that we have the right partners and that they are going to get all the support they need. It's been really fun because when the team really got to wrap their head around this idea of the composable architecture, it makes so many more things possible. So a great example of that is we tried to hook up a modern search engine that has AI and all this great learning against our monolith, and it just wouldn't work. And people are beating their head against the wall trying to get this thing done. Fast forward to where we are now, the team is excited when there are new ideas and new questions. And hey, we looked at this one, and they could say, yes, let's do it, let's try it. Because everything is composable. So it's just opened the door, and they love it.
That's great. So speaking of opening doors, I'm very curious to hear what's next for you and sort of tie that in a little bit. I know that Petsmart has some cool things going on in the AI world right now. We talked a lot about that this morning. So if we can maybe wrap up with a little bit of a look forward, what's next for you, but also how do you think that composable, that ability to say yes is kind of setting your team up to adopt this new era of AI that we're in?
So I would say the team has probably felt like they've been held back by our previous technologies. And so two things are coming together at a really fun time. The first is you move from this, I think one of my team members, they compared it, the situation we're in right now to, like the old system was an SUV, right? pretty much anyone can drive it. It's got great cameras. You can get to the store safely, get back safely. It's pretty basic and standard. Our new system is basically like an F1 car. So it has all the knobs and dials and controls, but it does require a higher level of skill to do that. And so the team has that higher level of skill now. So they're super excited. And we finally put it in place. So you've got the car, the people are trained, they know how to drive the car, they know how to tune the car. Now the fun begins of really looking at what can we do to iterate to make our experiences better and move a whole lot faster. So that's one thing. On the other side, you look at what's going on in our business. We have a new CEO as of a few months ago. It's public, right? And we've put a lot of energy into looking at what the next 5 years are going to be. So we've got a really exciting long-range plan. And so we've got a brand new set of tools that can do all kinds of new and different things. And we are building a huge backlog of innovation and fun and things that our customers are going to love. And so we're bringing those two things together. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's great. I can't wait to see. Well, thank you again, Greg. I really appreciate you joining us back here at Elevate.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Excellent.